Welcome back. Second attempt. We're going to go over the patch notes for the Friday release of Season 8 for Marvel Rivals. This is their balance post. The ground is shaking, Rivals. Season 8 is here, and the King of Monster Kingdom has officially stomped onto the battlefield. While Devil Dinosaur is busy tearing up the front line, our balance team has been hard at work tuning up the rest of the roster. Emma Frost is getting a royal boost to her diamond hard defenses. Mr. Fantastic is stretching out his damage potential, and Mantis is bringing a whole new pace to the game. Let's dig into the patch notes and see how the meta evolves. Adjustments. Up first, we have Vanguard. Deadpool, Vanguard. Wade's been breaking the game engine a little too hard with his nonstop gunplay. We're putting a tiny leash on his damage output while keeping his chaotic energy intact. Reduce the Banhammer Gunform ultimate ability healing provided while active from 50 to 25 per second. Not bad, they halved it. Reduce Dual Desert Eagle's Vanguard single shot damage from 36 to 34. So a 2 points of damage, a 2 damage nerf for standard mode, and from 42 to 39 for the upgraded mode. So you're doing 34 standard and 39 upgraded. 7 damage difference beforehand to a 5 damage difference when upgraded. We'll see how that plays out. Emma Frost, one of the bigger ones. The White Queen is getting an upgrade to Diamond Hard survivability to give her a stronger, prolonged presence on the front line. Telepathic Pulse fall off now begins 4 seconds, was 3, after not hitting an enemy. Reduce Mind's Aegis reposition cooldown from 3 seconds to 1 second. Increase damage reduction gain from Diamond Form and Psionic Seduction. Her ultimate ability from 20% to 25%. Let's see, what do I think on this? Telepathic Pulse. I don't play too much Emma. I think she has been a little bit lackluster, though. Like, when I go against her in matchups, she's not as prominent as when she first released, for sure. But compared to other tanks, like, if an Emma's on the team, I really don't care. Like, she doesn't stand out anymore. She can be a little annoying, but really any other tank is more of a focus for me than Emma. She's just kind of there. So I hope this kind of brings her up as a more prominent opponent again. The Thing. We're giving Ben's rocky exterior a buff so he can soak up more pressure during prolonged frontline brawls. Increase base health from 700 to 750, so he gets a 50 flat buff to health. Duelists, Iron Fist. Lin is sharpening his martial arts. We're boosting his burst potential and smoothing his combos so he can be a greater threat when diving the enemy lines. Jeet Kune Do hits now reduce the cooldown of Dragon's defense by 1.2 seconds, up from 1, so we got 0.2 of a second. Not bad. Increase Kunlun kicks first strike damage from 35 to 40. 5 damage? Yeah, 5 damage flat buff on the kick. It is what it is. I haven't seen too many Iron Fists. I've seen more Daredevils than I do Iron Fists. And when I see an Iron Fist, he's kind of just there. Again, kind of same story to Emma. He's not very prominent to me. Mr. Fantastic, another character who I kind of hardly see. I've seen him a little bit, maybe like 4 times this season. Reed's crowd control was getting a bit too oppressive. So we're trading off some of his slow effects for a boost in direct damage and overall utility. Increase stretch punch damage from 65 to 70. Remove flexible elongations, movement speed reduction effect. However, the charge time for each use has been reduced from 8 to 6. Reduce the energy cost of Brainiac Bounce ultimate ability from 3400 to 3100. I think the movement speed, that's a good change. Stretch punch, we'll see how that affects. I don't think it'll do too much, and it'll be kind of nice. His ult charge up, I'm fine with it. His ult's not too chaotic unless it's indoors still, from what I've seen. Khonshu demands swift vengeance. We're giving him a small mobility tune-up. Reduce Moonlight Hook cooldown from 15 to 12. I think Moon Knight's been in an okay spot. He's not the most prominent thing to deal with. He's not the worst thing to deal with either. The movement cooldown is nice. I would have liked to see maybe a 1 or 2 second cooldown adjustment on his onks, just a little bit. But other than that, I'm not mad with the Moon Knight changes. Phoenix. Jean is shifting her focus. We're cutting her explosive AoE slightly to make her direct hits feel far more lethal. Increase cosmic flames direct hit damage from 50 to 55. Reduce explosion damage when detonating spark marks from 40 to 35. Dev note, without damage buffs, Phoenix can no longer one-shot a 250 health hero with a single mark. Direct hit from her End Song Inferno, or her ultimate. However, the increase to her primary attack damage makes her far more threatening in baseline combat. So, in total, when reading this the first time over before this video, my instant reaction was just, okay, so it's still, again, a better Hela. I don't know what it is. She plays better than Hela. She's easier to hit things with Hela, or than Hela. She just kind of does the same thing as Hela, but better. And this still is making that same statement. The only thing Hela is better at is with her ult, and that's really it. In my opinion, I'd rather play Phoenix than Hela, though, just because Phoenix is more fun, although Hela gets more use out of her ult if the enemy team's not too smart. Spider-Man. Spidey is wrapping things up tighter than ever. We're giving his ultimate a bit more bite, increased spectacular spin damage per single spherical spell field from 13.6 to 15. The total damage over the 2.4 second duration increased from 408 damage to 450. Not bad. I think it'll be useful. He might tear up the back line again. Like he already does it, but it might encourage more people to start playing Spidey again. Squirrel Girl. Doreen's now slightly faster. That's nutty. Reduce the cooldown of Mammal Bond from 15 seconds to 12. I don't see the point in this, but it is what it is. I think Squirrel Girl is one of the easiest characters, if not the easiest character outside of Wanda. Other than that, I don't see why she needed a buff. I think she was fine where she was, but it is what it is. If more Squirrel Girls come out of the woodworks for whatever reason out of it, then they do, and I have to deal with it. Oh well. Star-Lord. Time to turn up the tunes and the ammo count. Increase the ammo capacity of element guns from 40 to 50. Not bad. I think Star-Lord's also in an okay spot, so this was a nice little tune-up. I think he'll do fine. It might make him a little bit more prominent again in this coming season. Wolverine. Logan's healing factor is kicking into overdrive. He'll be able to bounce back into the fray faster. Reduce the trigger cooldown of regenerative healing factor from 105 to 90. I like this change. It's a 15-second cooldown change from a minute and 45 to a minute and 30. I think it'll be helpful. I don't play Wolverine, but I've seen him a little bit more prior to this announcement, so he might have some interesting play coming up. Strategist. Invisible Woman. Sue is losing a bit of her knockback and damage to help balance the overall control potential of strategist comps. Reduce force physics push distance from 12 meters to 10 and damage from 55 to 50. I think this is good. Invisible Woman's still going to be a good choice, and going forward, she's still probably going to be a prominent strategist. I think it's an okay change. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I don't think it's a bad change, but we'll see as we go through season 8. Loki. The god of mischief is leaning more into his support role. His illusions will heal more reliably, but deal a little less damage. Increase illusion's mystical missile healing ratio from 90% to 100%. Reduce illusion's mystical missile damage ratio from 90% to 80%. I would have liked it at 85, meet in the middle. I'm just a big Loki fan. I have personal bias. Whatever. Increase the energy cost of God of Mischief ultimate ability from 4,300 to 4,500. Again, I like Loki. The reason for the ult change is probably because of the healing ratio change. Since we're healing more, you'll get more ult charge quicker. So they offset the ult. That's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. Mantis, another big one. Mantis is getting a tactical shift. She's trading some of her damage boosting power for brand new baseline speed buff. Reduce allied inspiration. Damage boost provided allies from 12 to 8. I'm concerned how this is going to affect Widow. If you could still do Widow one shots, I want to test that out in the firing range with Rebel. When I help him with my Black Cat stuff, I want to also test out Widow and Mantis and see how that goes. New effect now provides a flat 100 movement speed boost to allies. Dev note, with Ultron now having access to conventional damage buff capabilities, Mantis needs to carve out a more unique functional niche. By adding a movement speed buff, Mantis can better aid her team with positioning and kiting. Rocket Raccoon, also another big one that's a little bit questionable to me, but I'll take it. There's a lot of Rocket Raccoon fans out there. Rocket Raccoon. Rocket is upgrading his arsenal. He'll be putting out more damage, tossing out more heals, and dropping his ult faster. Increase bombard mode hit damage per projectile from 16 to 17. Increase repair mode charges from 8 to 10. Reduce the energy cost of CYA from 4,300 to 4,000. White Fox, another slightly big one. I look forward to seeing how these changes affect the Black Cat combo if it stays in rotation for next season. White Fox. Amihan is refining her Kumiho magic to provide more consistent healing, whether she's locked in combat or disengaged. Increase healing amount provided by the surrounding aura during Fox form awakening from 25 to 35 per second. Reduce the burst healing generated by each successful attack during Fox form awakening from 35 to 25. Dev notes here, we observed that White Fox's healing output in Fox form awakening state was too high when continuously attacking enemies, but too low when unable to maintain targets. This slightly lowers her intense burst healing when spamming attacks from 100 per second to 90 per second, but significantly boosts her passive healing aura when no targets are available from 25 to 35 per second. Increase Blessed by the 9 healing to allies during Kumiho Unleashed from 40 to 60 per second. Again, I think it's a good change. We'll see how it affects things going into Season 8. And again, if there's team-up abilities still with Black Cat and White Fox, I look forward to seeing how that changes. And if there's more White Fox picks when I play Black Cat. Team-up abilities adjusted. Chilling Assault, Luna Snow, Iron Fist, and Emma Frost. The stage is expanding. We're boosting the operational range of this icy trio so they can freeze out the competition from further away. Increase Iced Out Diamond Spell Field from 9 meters to 12 meters. Increase barrier placement distance to match the 12-meter radius. Other than that, we have a new team ability, and it is for Devil Dinosaur and the Punisher, called Primal Punishment. A prehistoric apex predator and a vigilante with an arsenal. What could possibly go wrong? Frank Castle is saddling up for the ride of a lifetime. As the team-up anchor, Devil Dinosaur gains 100 bonus health. The Punisher unlocks the Ancient Judgment ability through his team-up with Devil Dinosaur. I think the only thing that's wrong with this is the ban rate of Punisher is already pretty high from this season that I can tell. I'd say every other game to every game Punisher is already banned. So with Devil Dinosaur coming to Season 8, I think Punisher will also be a high ban rate still, even though this team-up exists. The only reason he wouldn't be is if both teams are expected to play Devil Dino and Punisher, which could also likely happen, in which case with my duo/trio, we can make that happen where Lauren will play Devil Dino and I can play Punisher as long as it's not banned and we can wreck some shit. But we can also expect the enemy team to do the same thing. So it'll be interesting. In other news, we have the official Devil Dino trailer. I'll give you my first thoughts, but let's get into it. It's always the Iron Man. They always dunk on Iron Man ult. So that's Devil Dino. A couple things, key aspects that I noticed during the gameplay. I think base attack's pretty cool. I think The beam is super cool. A couple comparisons that I noticed is in the comments, some people mentioned, so Devil Dino is just Hulk that's always in Hulk. And I thought it was funny, but it's kind of true. I mean, just a teeny tiny bit. There was also some memes of like, enemy team, we have a Hulk. My team, we have a T-Rex. I was like, all right, that's good. That's pretty good. I'm excited for Devil Dino. I know my teammate Lauren, she's going to be picking up Devil Dino as one of her characters to sit along her Bruce Banner / Hulk. I look forward to teaming up with Punisher and Devil Dino with her when we get the chance, when neither are banned, which I know is going to happen. In regards to Devil Dino, though, I was surprised to see his jump height. When he comes up to grab this Phoenix here, it threw me off a little bit. His ult, his charging ult, I think it's pretty cool. Charging stomps, you just kind of choose things. His size is pretty huge. He makes Magneto look small, and compared to the heroes that I play, like even Thor, he makes Thor and Magneto, two of the bigger characters, compared to the DPS that I play, look very tiny. It's not something I'm upset about. It's just he's going to take a lot of screen real estate. So people like Hela, Widow, any precision-based character, hit scan, Phoenix, and really even Punisher. It's just one giant damage sponge, which I can see why he has 850 health. He's a big-ass target, which means if you're playing dive, you're really going to have to take care of the supports. And not even focus Devil Dino first. You're going to have to focus the other tanks that aren't as beefy as Dino and save Dino for last. Because there's not really any way you're melting Devil unless it's 1v5, I feel. And that could be horribly miscalculated and horribly missaid by me right now, but I don't think you'll be able to like 1v1 a Devil Dino and solo him. Other than maybe Punisher with shotgun and all headshots. His headshot damage rate's got to be crazy though, because he's just got this big old head. So either they gave him a lot of headshot reduction or a lot of health. And I think they gave him a lot of health to compensate for normal headshot amplifiers and big old head. But that could just be me. So the only note I have, if I didn't mention it already, I'm not quite sure. I think that for duelists, Black Cat could have gotten adjusted. She did not. Not in terms of a buff, but more of a tune. I think she's going to get the same treatment as Bucky back in season 1, 1.5, around that era, where Bucky's ult went from 10 seconds to 7 seconds. I think the same thing is going to happen with Black Cat at some point when she finds her niche and settles in a little bit more, as she was still the newest character. I think it'll either be a mid-season balance in season 8, or it will be an 8.5 change when Cyclops releases, kind of ironing her kit out a little bit more. I still think she's relatively new and data needs to be collected on her, and she's probably not the most played character, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm okay with her not being changed. I think they would probably also give her a 5 damage base to her claws, her regular claw attacks, but I'm not too picky. I think it's a good change list overall. I'm not mad. I'm looking forward to playing this weekend. I finished up my season at Diamond 3. I got out of Plat, like I said I would. Got to Diamond 3. I haven't really been pushing to Diamond 2 at all. I don't have the time this week. I'm prepping for some stuff with my second job. It is what it is. I'll probably hit GM this season if I can push into D2 early this coming season. I'm definitely hitting GM this season. It's going to be one of my top goals. Until then, keep having fun, keep playing. Look forward to a video coming out on another VOD review for Black Cat either this coming week or the end of next week. Earliest it would be is this Sunday. Latest is probably Thursday next week. You'll also see my Cyclops reaction. I might redo it just because of the audio quality difference between the last time I took that take and now for this video. I sounded insanely better due to the upgrades that I got for my setup. So yeah, keep on going, keep on rivaling. Stay safe, have fun. I'll catch you in the next one.